Well, we were talking about before we came in today on the drive-in about annoying people in our lives.
Yeah.
And some of the traits that we feel like they share. Mm-hmm. And one of them that really made me, well, I thought about somebody that we both know that does this every time we go out to eat. If we go out to eat with this person, when the waiter comes up, any restaurant that we're in with the menu, he'll go, between the pasta, the steak, and the lamb, which do you think, which would you get? And then here's what makes me crazy is first you're like, oh, Jesus Christ, you're fucking 40 years old. And then that waiter who isn't you. So you don't, I mean, you're just saying, what do you like?
Right.
Then the waiter goes, definitely the lamb. And then this guy goes, I think I'm going to do the pasta. And you're like, so you don't even take the fucking suggestion there. But every time we go, he's like, you know, I was thinking about the pancakes or the omelet. How are the pancakes here? And they'll go, delicious. And he'll go, I'll take the omelet.
Yeah, it's
like,
a test.
What the fuck are you doing, man?
It's a test.
Well, and also, why the indecision over just one meal? It's not your last meal on earth. It's just a meal. It's $15 or whatever it is. Like, just fucking commit to one.
How do you not know what you want to eat?
Roll the dice, man. Yeah.
You know?
I hate when people can't decide what they want and they have to ask a million questions about it.
And then he
Makes
does.
me fucking nuts.
And how is that prepared?
Oh, how is it prepared? Who cares?
Okay,
Live a little.
man.
Take a chance.
And what farm was
Yeah.
it slaughtered at?
Do you get these
fucking
locally?
Christ.
Are these sourced locally?
Do you know if this was frozen first?
Oh,
and they're
no.
like,
Oh, it's the worst
and then
personality
sometimes
trait.
you could see their face. The servers are like, I'll go ask. And then he's like, thank you. Then they come back and they go, actually, it's fresh. He's like, great, I'll have the other thing. And they're like, okay, fantastic.
I was a server, and we would get a lot of people who would ask for like coffee at, just like they want a coffee.
At random hours.
Yeah, and it's like the coffee machines
don't
shut
make
off.
it at 10.
So, or no, they ask for decaf coffee.
No.
That's what it is.
That
And I'm like,
suck.
it's like 10 o'clock at night, you know.
And you're like, are you a piece of shit?
So
dude?
I serve them regular coffee.
And they go, this
Sorry.
is decaf, right?
Of
And they're like,
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, that one I hate. And then I hate when you have someone in your life that remembers the worst things you've ever
That
done.
was amazing.
And then reminds you of it. Like,
They go, do you remember when?
Do you remember that time? My dad always reminds me of the time we were in Budapest when I was 14 at this really fancy restaurant. And they give you ice cream on a really nice glass, like, container. And I spilled it. And
He was
years
mortified.
later, he was super embarrassed. We were all embarrassed. It was embarrassing for me too.
He's like,
specifically.
do you remember that?
Yeah. You remember that time you spilled the ice cream? I'm like, yeah, fuckface. Of course I remember it. And
Like,
thank
who
you
is
for
that
making,
for?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is that supposed to do? Like, oh, thank you. I remember being a piece of shit that day.
My dad would do that. He would go, do you remember when you had your thing? And I'm like, what? He's like, your thing in college? And I'm sitting there like, what the fuck are you talking about? He's like, when you were a freshman? And I'm like, when I overdosed on drugs?
The thing.
And he'll go,
Thing.
yeah. And I go, yeah. And he goes, yeah, I'm just thinking about that. I'm like, you're just thinking about that? Why are you bringing it up? He's like, no, just I'm like,
Yeah.
hey man, well, that was a fucking cool memory to bring up. Thank you. And
Yeah,
then
and you
then it's just
remember.
like, you guys want to go get some lunch? And you're like, nah, I don't fucking want to actually have lunch right now. Like,
Yeah.
why are you bringing this up?
I don't know. Why do they bring it up?
My dad does that with like exes. He'd be like, whatever happened to that guy that you dated? And I'm like, oh, you mean the one that fucking made me cry every day? Like, why?
Yeah.
Hopefully he's dead, Dad. I don't know. Why do you want to? You don't even know his name. Why do you want to know about him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you give him a call?
I-
Just
I
check
would-
on him?
Yeah, no, I hope he doesn't have my number. That's
Yeah. Whatever happened to is a good one.
Yeah.
Whatever
Oh,
happened.
fuck.
Whatever the person that you never bring up anymore. You're like, I don't know.
terrible.
Yeah.
Why are you bringing it up now?
That, and I also hate when they're always like, quick story. And you're like, first of all, if you have to preface it with, it's a quick story, it's
not.
certainly not. And also, me, particularly, when someone's like, I got a funny story for you, I'm always like, no. First of all, I'm married to Tom Segura, arguably one of the funniest storytellers of our generation.
Okay.
Nobody's gonna tell me a better story than this fucking guy.
Well, I don't like when people say,
So
"Oh,
don't
this
tell
is
me
a
a story.
funny story."
It's
Like,
not.
let me determine
Yeah.
if it's
Don't
funny.
tell me funny stories.
You're going to
know?
love this one. They'll
Because
get
if you
that.
don't get the reaction, then I feel like the asshole for not giving it up.
and they're
to
never
you.
funny.
No.
It's never.
And they
not
always,
that
it's in their defense, like they always feel it's self-imposed, but it's so like after a show, someone will be like, "Hey, you know how you talked about when you went to the theme park?
Fuck off.
I got a funny one for you."
No.
That you should
Like-
use in your set.
Yeah, and you're like, fuck. And then they start telling the story, and like, you just kind of glass over, and they
it's the
keep, and then
worst.
they go like, that you can see that they're getting nervous. And you're like, yeah, you did this though.
Yeah.
Like you're making yourself nervous with this.
Ah.
It's fucking no.
Yeah, no, not funny story.
Never, dude. No.
No.
But you would tell me if I had a bad personality, right? I just feel like people, but don't you feel like there's people that you know where everyone else is like, God, that guy sucks, and nobody's like telling that
Yeah.
person they suck? Like, don't you think you should
I
tell?
feel
the
like
person
if you
they
have a
suck?
bad personality, I feel like you would know that.
But they don't. The people with the worst
No.
personalities, they don't know.
What they think is that I think, well, it depends on how if they're super narcissistic, they go, everyone's a fucking idiot, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they're kind of sweet and beaten down, they're just become like these loners with weird fucking hobbies in their life. And they just, you give them a little attention and they go like, and then you go, oh, this is like this one didn't get enough love.
Right.
So it just depends on what type you're talking about. But
I feel like hot guys with bad personalities get away with, like, you can be hot with a
Yeah.
bad personality.
Totally.
You can't
Yeah.
be ugly with a bad personality.
No.
hot chicks, the same thing.
Same
though.
thing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
They can get away with anything.
Beautiful. You see the model
Yeah.
girl, and then you're like, oh, you're a dud.
Yeah.
Talks.
But continue on,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
The one thing too that people do to me that because I'm really stupid with directions. Like, like if someone's like, just go northeast. I'm like, you lost me, bro. Like I don't know the difference.
It's on the southeast corner.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm like, I don't fucking know.
Why are
where
you
that
using
is.
scientific? This is something that annoys me that people do is when people ask me questions, they could ask Google.
Oh.
Like, you have a phone in your hand.
Yeah.
What, I don't know
Yeah.
what time the game's on. I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah.
the weather.
Right.
Like,
What channel is it on? And you're like,
what
look it up.
street? How do you get there? Like, all of these
Yeah.
things can be solved with.
Addressed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Telling somebody that some shit's on a northeast corner of
I
the
hate
street
that
is
stuff. I don't
like,
get
what,
that.
dude?
I don't know directions.
Who does
I don't know.
that?
That's for
Anything.
that person to feel smart.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Like, what are you, military trained? Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Yeah, like he's got a
Meet
compass.
me at 1700
Me- oh,
hours.
yeah.
Like,
The fuck? Well, I have a friend who will be like, hey, have you ever been to that restaurant, Chachi's? And I'm like, well, where's Chachi's? It's in Silver Lake. No? Well, it's okay. It's on Hyperion and on the corner of Rowena on the north-southwest corner. It's across from the thing. And I'm like, bro, shut. Like, you're stressing me out
Yeah.
with these fucking specific directions. Like, I'll look it up.
Yeah, you
homie.
lost me.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck off. I can't. Ooh, mommy, did you enjoy that highlight? Why don't you have more fun? Click around. Click here, or here, or here, or here, or here. Look. Try it out. Have more fun. Why don't you subscribe? That way, every time a video drops, you can be notified. You're not going to miss a moment of denim, okay? Try it out. Be her.